Hello, you all. Welcome to this new edition of Lectio Musica, the place for great lyrics, great music, and great meaning. My name is Guilain Prince. I'm a Franciscan friar. By the way, I'm not a monk. I'm a Franciscan friar from Canada. I'm French-speaking. My mother tongue is French, like in the whole province of Quebec. And here I am, speaking English, commenting on metal, hard rock, and prog rock. I'm back. I know it's been a little while. The only reason is simple. Two of my videos of the previous groups I wanted to do have been blocked. So what can I do? And I was not able to do anything. Secondly, when it was time for me to change my plans very fast, I was at the end of my term, a lot of work. I couldn't go back to work, especially because it was 3 weeks before my time of vacation, my time of rest, which means that I wouldn't have the time to do a full project. And I said, I'll wait after I'm back. I know that for you in Europe, your vacations are in August, and here I come back when you are on vacation. So you can see that I don't do that for money at all. It's completely, I would say, it should be a little bit more money-wise. It will be crazy to do that, but I'm not here for the money. I'm here for the joy of sharing with you a great passion. I've been raised, I grew up with hard rock, metal, and prog. I absolutely love to dig into that music. It's a hobby. It's nothing serious. Even if I have a few abilities in the analysis of texts, I can use them a little bit. But I do that just for the fun of it. So let's go immediately on the, just a second here. No, that's this one. So we're going back to Nightwish, something I wanted to do for 2 years now. It's a complete, I called it a listening because it's not per se a reaction, except for 2 songs. I think it was a reaction. For the others, it's not a reaction. I already heard the song. I love the album already. It's a complete listening, and for sure, it's for me a discovery of the lyrics. By that I mean that I never paid attention much to the lyrics. When I heard the album in 2008, I just listened to it 3 times, I think. And lately, I've been listening to it quite a lot because I love it. And that's why I said, okay, this album will be a little bit different. I will listen to you. I will listen with you. I listen to you as well, to an album I already love. And I want to dig in the lyrics, in the meaning, and to take the album as it is presented, a dark passion play. So we will talk about the title of the album at the end, but let's take it as a play where the character evolves, are presented to us, and they evolve. So just to let you know that I think it's the 4th series on Nightwish. Why do I love to do Nightwish? Simple. I love the music. I love the lyrics. I love the challenge of the lyrics. And every time I did something on Nightwish, not only I had a lot of interest, but the quality of the comments down below, which is the reason why I do that, is to start a thread of discussion about the songs. The people commenting on Nightwish's songs have been very active And this is what I love. Really, this is what I love. Whenever there's an album that I work on and people are reacting to my videos, get involved into the discussion with respect and everything. This is what I want the most. So my program for the coming I would say 4 months will be to go back to two albums that I already know. This one I already know, the other one I don't know, and but has been very much recommended to me. So we will go back to that later. As for now, we will have complete listening to the album Dark Passion Play. I've done a whole series, the 10 most beloved songs of Nightwish, 70 to 79. You look for that on my channel, LM70 or LM79. You will find it's all about Nightwish, the 10 most beloved songs of Nightwish. Then The Warning from 80 to 85. Arian, the album was The Human Equation from 86 to 96. So now this is Dark Passion Play. Why? Because I fell in love in 2008, and listening to it even today, I find this album exceptional. To be frank, there is little negative I can say about the album. I find it breathtaking. We are traveling through all kinds of emotions in that album, and I love to hear stories. I love to hear music deeply connected with the story, with the storyline. And for me, it has been very, very satisfactory. So let's dig into that album. So this being said, you have to know that I already listened and made videos about 3 of the songs of this album. The first one, I already did, The Poet and the Pendulum. So if you haven't listened to my video on The Poet and the Pendulum, I suggest that you go and listen to it right now. It's called LM70. Look for it on my channel. You will find it very fast. And you will have the first song of the album. Now, the second song of the album is Bye Bye Beautiful. And this is the content of this video. Every video, for those of you who don't know me, is divided in 3. First, you will have a reaction to the lyrics video of the song. Yeah, I will react to the lyrics and to the song as I hear it. It's a lyric video on purpose so that we focus on the music. Second, I will make a short analysis of the lyrics and the meaning of the song. Third, reaction to a live version. The one I took is from a show in Serbia in 2008. Quality of image and sound seemed to me very good. I haven't listened to it all along, but it sounded great. So please proceed to the section that interests you. You don't have to listen to the whole video. Just go to the one section you want. You want to listen or to look at the lyrics of verse 2. Just scroll with the little bar below at the bottom of the video. Just scroll to when you see the lyrics on the screen, you know that I'm commenting those lyrics. So stop and listen, and then go to the end by reaction to the live version that I never listened to. So that is it. Are you ready? I am, personally. And really eager, very happy to be back. Really eager to listen to that great music with you and to really dig into the lyrics. We do that in 3, 2, 1. haven't listened to that with headphones. Sounds great. What a charge! What a charge! Unbelievable. They put everything, and oh my lord, Marco on this one. For me, he's at his best. He's at his best. Unbelievable. Yeah. Those were times where lots of things were happening. New singer and the story, the pain that we saw in the Poet and the Pendulum, and the rebirth. But of course, the rebirth is will not be as instantaneous as the poet and the poet and the pendulum. To me, it seems to be a kind of presentation of the what will happen during the whole album. I don't know what is your impression, but it makes us enter into the dynamics of the whole album, in which you have the death of the artist, and here it's more like right out of the breakout, right after the painful event of the breaking, a separation of what here we will see the beautiful one from the others. So let's see, and I'll give you a small hint. Be careful in sections. It's in I and you, and other sections are in we and you. There are sections where it's really talking directly. One person is talking to the other one, the beautiful, and other section we understand that there are consequences. There's a larger group that has felt the impact of the separation. So let's read verse 1. Oh, by the way, I didn't say anything right now, no notes about the introduction, but my Lord, but it's very charged already, very powerful. Did you notice the beautiful theme? Almost classical, ta ta ta, ta ta ta, ta 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 ta, something like that. It's I should have listened to it more than once, but it's beautiful. I love this theme to enter and to fall directly into the after the separation. So finally, the hills are without eyes. They are tired of painting a dead man's face red with their own blood. They used to love having so much to lose. Blink your eyes just once and see everything in ruins. Now here is finally the hills are without eyes. This theme I have seen a few times in Nightwish as either it was the crowds, the landscape, the hills, the world is with eyes, the impression of being constantly under the eye of the public. I would think it's the eye of the public, of the world. Like there's no rest. There is no space where I'm truly alone, all by myself. And the hills, so these forms that form, there's no persona to it. It's impersonal, but they have eyes at the same time. So, and they are tiring. They are tired of painting a dead man's face red. I think the dead man's face is the poet and the pendulum. As you know, the pendulum has two functions. Time passing by like a big clock, but at the same time it's an axe cutting the poet's truth. Of course, it's a symbolic death, but from that moment, something is broken, something is finished, metaphorically, of course. But here, they are painting the dead man's, the poet's, I think, face red, painting with their own blood. So they are painting his face blood, spilling blood on him, as if they to me, I see that as a kind of reproach. What do you think of that? A kind of reproach, making the blood dripping on his face, saying that you are the cause of everything. That would be my take on this. And what about you? So they got tired of that. At one point they stopped doing that. With their own blood, with their own life. So, in effect, you you kind of lose your time doing that. That's how I would understand it. They used to love having so much to lose, enjoying being the witness of drama. Here I see what is your connection with the star system? Do you love to know every little elements about your stars you love? So this big story, this big drama, you lost so much time on this, and then finally you stop doing that. You used to love losing so much time of yourself. Now blink your eyes in an instant, just once, and then you will see that everything is in ruins. And it's interesting because everything that you spilled on the dead man's face, the dead man by definition doesn't have any blood anymore, or he has blood, but it's not a living blood anymore. So he's already dead, and you're sending on him constantly new blood in a way, but you got tired of that. But if you just blink your eyes, you will notice now it's ruins. So that's another way of saying dead man. Another way of saying everything is finished. Now the very long chorus said at a very fast pace, but so much emotion, beautiful voice. Did you ever hear what I told you? Do you see? Here it's in I. Did you ever read what I wrote you? So in this relation, in this separation, there were a lot of words being told, lots of words being written. Did you ever listen to what we played? So other people were involved in that thing, in that project that they had together. And we played something. Did you listen to what we played? Did you ever let in what the words said? And here, this is quite kind of interesting. What the world, said. It's interesting because the world was saying something, was telling you something, but were you able not only to listen to the words you were saying, to what we played, but also to what the world was saying? Did we get this far just to feel your hate? Oh, so at one point, what the person I told you become the we? And did we go through all that far to feel your hate? So there is a blame here, that the origin of the separation is in the other, in the beautiful. Did we play to become only pawns in the game? That's interesting. We were together in this, and then at one point we became the pawn of your game. So you thought. How blind can you be? Don't you see? Okay, how blind? It's unbelievable. You chose the long road. What will be waiting? This is the one sentence, to be frank, I don't understand. I will tell you why. Is by the separation you chose the long road? Or is it walking with us all these years? It was a long road. I don't think it is. I would tend to think that now you made a decision in which you make us the pawn of your game, and you didn't understand. You didn't get it. There's something you didn't get. By doing that, by breaking the we, now you will take the long road. There was a shorter road, maybe, to be with us. Bye-bye, beautiful. Bye-bye, beautiful. But what I don't understand is will be waiting. Does that mean that you broke it up, but we'll be waiting, and then you'll come back? Is it waiting for the coming back? I don't know. But this, to me, is not understandable within the context of what I read before and after. Would like to have your opinion on this. Okay, let's continue. Verse 3. Oh, no, paragraph 3. That's not chorus 1. That's verse 2. Here. Verse 2. Jacob's goes for the girl in white, blindfold for the blind. Dead siblings walking the dying earth. News around the choking heart. Eternity torn apart, slow toll, now the funeral bells. I need to die to feel alive. There was a mistake in the lyrics video. It's not dying heart, it's dying earth. Jacob's ghost for the girl in white. Now, I don't know what is Jacob's ghost. Is there a story that I don't know? But I will try my best without knowing what it is. There's a ghost of Jacob. He comes for the girl in white. I think it's the beautiful one. And what does he do? He put on a blindfold for the blind. So the girl in white is already blind, but the Jacob's ghosts come back and put a blindfold on the blind one, so make things even worse. So this ghost should be, I think, should be, I don't know what, but should be warning maybe the girl, I don't know. But one thing is that, in fact, he makes things worse. Dead siblings walking the dying earth. Dead siblings. Who are the dead siblings? Jacob's ghosts? Or they are those from the previous paragraphs who are now dead, who are in ruins? That's interesting. I would tend to think the dead siblings to be part of the we that we saw in the previous paragraphs, walking the dying earth. You remember the end of the paragraph? It was everything in ruined. Everything in ruins. So I think this is the dying earth. Maybe it's a little bit emphatic. It's the dying earth, but to describe the dying field, the dying land where everything happened before. I don't see it as, let's say, for example, the warming up of the planet or something. These are not the times where Thomas began to talk about the situation, the global situation. So I would put it at the level of the we, of the group, of the consequences of what the group lived. News around the choking heart. The choking heart, we perfectly understand here. There's a heart choking. That was also the poet, the death of the poet in the first song of the album. Eternity torn apart. For me, here I could see there's a connection with the dying earth and eternity. Dying earth being the situations, dying, falling into ruins, and as you know, earth, heaven, eternity, how on earth there was something that had the quality of eternity here, but this has been torn apart. So that's pretty much the ruins for me, but the ruins of something beautiful. That's how I would understand it. Slow toll now the funeral bell, ding, ding. The slow tintinabule of the funeral bells. There's a funeral because there's someone dead, as you know in the first song. Again, the poet is dead. I need to die to feel alive. Here, the poet's voice comes out with the. I remember well. It's Marco here. You already know the chorus. Let's go to the bridge now. It's not the tree that forsakes the flower, but the flower that forsakes the tree. This is the key to the song. This is the key to the song. The separation, the eternity torn apart, it's the flower that decides to leave the tree. But the flower thinks that she is the tree on which the others are attached to. So the blind is this. The blind one is the fact that you completely misjudged, deeply misjudged the situation, and it's the tree will be able to continue without the flower, but is the flower will she be able to continue without the tree? I think the question is in there. Someday I'll learn to love these scars. Yes, the place of the separation, I will love these scars. But notice that here it's I'll learn. So the one writing is the one that needs something to be healed. Still fresh from the red-hot blade of your words. The red-hot blade. Remember the blade of the pendulum, but that cuts, that really broke the life of the poet. This blade is word. This blade is words. Words said by the flower. How blind can you be? Don't you see that the gambler lost all he does not have? Here, I don't know if you notice, but that's the first time I see a he. Unless the he is the character that we had here, Jacob's ghost. So what would be that Jacob's ghost? A ghost is not real, coming from the other side, saying something, and he is a gambler. He makes a risque move, and he loses what he does not have. That's very interesting. I have one or two ideas of what it could be, but I'd like to read you in the comment section about who is the gambler, who is the ghost, Jacob's ghost, and what the song is talking precisely about. I find this fascinating, to be frank. You know already the chorus, so it's time now to look at a small portion of analysis of the song. The structure is simple. After an introduction, I should have wrote it down here. A small introduction here, musical section. You have a verse 1, then the chorus B. The verse again sang by Annette. B is the chorus sung by Marco. C is partly sung by Annette, partly by Marco, and it ends with a chorus. I'd say the basic structure of a pop rock song. The only difference here is that the bridge is vocal, the bridge is spoken, is song, and it's the key to the song. So it's a simple structure, but for a very straightforward song. there's an emotional charge. We don't see that often in Nightwish. Full power. There's anger, yet there are beautiful melodic lines in there. The melodic lines, it's quite fascinating that the melodic lines are very beautiful, are in the short instrumental section and in the verses. The chorus has almost no melody, and here it serves the really the topic of the song. Love the voice of Marco. This is perfect on this one. This is the where I prefer by far Marco. It's love it. So what about the lyrics? We can see globally. We will do a little bit more analysis in the next view. But what can we say is that clearly there's frustration, there's anger expressed in a very poetic way. The chorus is very straightforward, but the verses are highly poetic. The bridge as well. Rarely we see lyrics in the Nightwish repertoire that are so frank and in your face. We don't see that very often. I told you already, there are sections in I and you, and we and you, and there's an E coming in somewhere. Few male characters coming in. Maybe they are all the same, maybe they are different. But the song does not talk to that ghost. The song does not talk to that gambler. The song is talking to the beautiful, Sometimes in I and sometimes in we. It's very interesting. Now, if I make a small element of analysis, after the poet and the pendulum, something has been broken, or I would say no, better than that. The poet and the pendulum gives us in a very short opening, I would call it an opening, a situation that finds a resolution within the opening, but it will be, I will say, opened up a little bit more larger with a larger scope in the whole album. Now, there's an element of blame and there's an element of revenge, because there is something is stated here publicly and artistically. So when you know a writer like Thomas, he works so hard on the lyrics and on the music. It's nothing is there by mistake. He works and everything works in that song. So it's our very refined, artistically presented in, of course, metal fashion, symphonic metal fashion. There's an element of revenge here. For me, I will say what I think of what happened. A long-term musical relation broke with wounds on both sides, wounds that have been confessed by the author, but he suspects that there's something on the other side as well. There's a blame to the flower from breaking up from the tree, yet the flower thought that she was the tree. So let's get to the next step. I think there's a bravade we say in French. You'll see what we will continue to do. Let's continue our journey without you. In my opinion, and now we talk about the meaning of the song, this is not my favorite style of Nightwish or any group. Very hateful, revenge, blames kind of song, okay? But I admit, as it is, that it is an extremely effective song. Artistically, it conveys the emotion and it expresses in very clear words the process in which they are all involved. The main character in France chooses to move on by saying bye bye, beautiful. Okay, watch us now. Okay, so I find it fascinating for that. So it's highly charged. It's an emotional song. This is what I like of the easy. I wrote the easy here, but it's not the easy. It's the early and middle Nightwish. What I call early Darius time, middle Nightwish Annette's, and now it's Floor. And what I really like of the first era and the second era is that the songs are strong in terms of emotion. There's something very personal. It's touching for us. We can relate to the song very much. I've not been that often in that kind of emotion, but I know that emotion, the rage, the anger after something you feel is unjust, for example. Today there's an emotional distance. Maybe it's serenity. It's they now Thwaimus grasp larger topics. He has a very large horizon with the planet, with the endangered species, and his topics are less personal. So maybe for him it's a relief. Maybe it's a good thing. For me, there's a lot of interest in the topics he talks about, but for me, there's a little bit more emotional distance, I would say, in the latest albums, even though they are great albums. You know how the high praises I made of Human Nature. I think it's a masterpiece. Still, there's a little distance, emotional distance, that I do not relate to it as much as I relate to that, even if I haven't experienced that much, that emotion. But the song has enough variations and dynamic changes to surprise me and to seduce me in a way, something that I expect, the high quality of Nightwish. I don't think there are that many great songs translating rage, translating anger in a personal or professional project, This is, for me, a well done song to do that. Very well done song. This one, even though, like I told you, it's not my favorite style of Nightwish, it stays on my playlist. I listen to it here and there, and I always enjoy listening to it. Next week, I already did The Poet and the Pendulum. It was, yes, I think it was Lectio Musica 70. I told you at the beginning. I will not, I just did the second song, Bye Bye Beautiful. Next week I will not do Amaranth, because Amaranth I already did. It's Lectio Musica 72. So right after this one, just go and watch Amaranth if you wish, because next week I'll continue with the next song. The link to Amaranth will be right there at the end of this video. Just click on it. You will be able to have a good look at. In fact, I will put the two songs, Poet and the Pendulum and Amaranth, as being 1 and 2. Don't forget, I do one video now, both reaction and analysis. You have the subtitles in 8 languages. Be at home. It's simple. I simply looked at who come on my site, from which country, and I put the subtitles: French, English, Spanish, Portuguese, because they are Portuguese, but Brazilians as well, Finnish, Dutch, Romanian, and Italian. So I listened to the lyrics video and the same song after the analysis. I react to a live version of the song. The premiere is always at 1:30 on Friday. I'll be there most of the time. I will miss very few. Don't forget, you can subscribe and you can click the little bell right beside if you're interested in that content. I'm there for a little while. Don't worry, even if I miss a few months. This being said, let's go immediately to a live version. So I'll put a little bit of space for myself. Okay, let's go and listen to that, I suspect, beautiful live presentation of the song. Huh? That's a section of the Poet and the Pendulum. I remember more recently Waves, but that's what they decided to put as an opening. Oh, this is a transition. There it is. Travis with the hat. Ice. It has the power of the charge to be the first. Is that the first song of the show? See Marco? There he is. Works. Nice addition. Yeah, the song in the live version. Yeah, it took. Yeah, it took. Yeah, yeah. It raised. It really raised it up to an emotional level that is even more convincing. The voiceover, the not the voiceover, but the we say contre-champ in French, the voice that is simply a melody brings another energy on the chorus, and Marco is perfect on this. The sound of the beautiful drum of Yuka is not to the level of what it gives normally, but this is probably the treatment that they gave at the mixing console, so doesn't matter really. But yeah, I understand. I don't know where it is in the playlist, but I suspect that it's at the beginning because we see the musicians entering, and they open with the ending of the Poet of the Pendulum. That's neat. That's well thought. Well, there it is, my friends. I'm so happy to be back, and I hope that you will like it. We are back on a journey. Dark Passion Play for 10 weeks, and then after that, I have another project that I think you will like. So for now, see you, and see you next week. Bye bye.